In the last clip, we left off on exploring what heaven and hell actually is. So if you haven't watched that clip, I highly suggest you go back so that you can keep up with the context of what we will be discussing today. In this portion of the series, we will focus on the kingdom of heaven being inside of you, which is the light body, as well as the shell or the sheol or your body being the physical manifestation of hell, and talk a little bit more about what actually dwells within these quantum realities. In the first part, we found that God sits on the emerald throne, which is the green heart chakra. Well, who resides in hell? Who is said to reside in hell? Don't they say that demons and the devil resides in hell? Let's discuss it further. So what is a parasite? Here it states that a parasite is an organism that lives on or inside another organism called a host and obtains its nutrients at the expense of the host, essentially benefiting from the host while harming it, meaning the parasite gains advantages while the host is negatively impacted. Sound familiar? I want you to take note of the root words in the word itself. Divided, the word para, originally the etymology or of the prefix para, came from the Greek and means next to or side by side, or it gives rise to words like parallel and paragraph. And the word site means place or position occupied by something. I also want you to remember that the words site and site, as in S-I-T-E and S-I-G-H-T, are an example of homophones, words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. Even though they have different meanings, they sound and vibrate exactly the same when spoken. Please keep that in mind for later. Parasites can also be pathogens. Some parasites are pathogens, but not all parasites are pathogens. A pathogen is an organism that causes disease, while a parasite is an organism that lives on or in a host. Now let's talk about the word pathogen. A pathogen is a microorganism or other agent that can cause disease in a host organism. I also want you to look at the root words for pathogen, as I feel it will give more understanding as to what we're dealing with. The word path means a way or track laid down for walking or made by continual treading. The letter O in path looks like or resembles a cell, container, or an egg. And the word gen means born or produced, like the word gene or genetics. However, I also want you to consider the sound of the word jinn as a homophone to the word jinn, D-J-I-N. The word jinn comes from the Arabic word jinn, which is a plural noun that means demons or spirits, or hidden from sight. The word genie also shares the same Arabic root. I hope you get where I'm going with this. Now let's talk about demons or daemons. A demon is a malevolent supernatural entity, typically considered an evil spirit, often associated with causing harm or misfortune to humans, found in various mythologies and religions across cultures. The term originates from the Greek word daemon, which originally meant a spirit or spiritual being, but gradually took on a more negative connotation in later interpretations. Can demons possess a person's body? The answer is yes. The idea of demonic possession exists in many religions and cultures, including Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Demonic possession is the belief that a demon takes control of a person's body and mind, causing mental illness, physical illness, or criminal behavior. In Islamic tradition, jinn are sometimes depicted as demonic, but they are not inherently evil. They are spirits that can choose to be good or evil and are accountable to their actions. In Arabic tales, jinn are spiritual beings that can perform great acts of good or evil. They are sometimes associated with shape-shifting, possession, and madness. Magicians in Arabic lore could capture jinn and tie them into items like lamps or rings. Now, I want you to note this excerpt from the 3 Magical Books of Solomon, which is the Greater and Lesser Keys, a book partly produced by Aleister Crowley, on how to perform conjure of evil spirits or daemons, a goetia, to do your bidding. Notice the 4th line, which mentions the word jinni, which is simply another word for genie. Also, this passage which talks about how these spirits of goetia are portions of the human brain. Their seals represent methods of stimulating or regulating those particular spots. In a nutshell, the eye that is being referenced here is the 3rd eye. The 3rd eye is said to be like a pine-shaped kaleidoscope that can basically sense these various angles of light. So when you have these different seals, basically they're imprinting in different parts of that light kaleidoscope so that it can showcase or project that particular light energy or seal for that particular jinn or genie or daemon, basically. So on my spiritual awakening journey, I was led to get the books Necronomicon as well as the book The Greater and Lesser Keys of Solomon. And the first thing I heard God whisper to me was, what do these particular seals look like to you? And I said, you know what? They actually look like pathogens or bugs.